Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to do a reading for MONSTA X member for IM. So yes, let's. A lot of people in my channel have been requesting me to read for him. I had pulled cards for him, I believe, a couple of times in my live streams. But yeah, I'm going to do one for the channel. So yes, let's begin. We start with the Seven of Swords, Five of Pentacles, Five of Swords in reverse, Four of Wands, and Four of Pentacles. And then from the Oracle, he got the card of Mercury in Virgo, Caution. So definitely, there's something about here, with this. We are actually like finally in Virgo season, so we are like connecting with this energy, very mercurial energy, and I cannot help to think that probably this is a moment for I am that it definitely has to do with some um I don't know, some discussions, some conversations, um, because he definitely like comes from a with starting with the Seven of Swords. Definitely, he comes from a, a situation where he sort of like maybe he wasn't saying the truth, or he was just keeping some information to himself and not revealing that much, or maybe just like avoiding talking about certain things. And with the Five of Pentacles, there's this sense of of actually like poverty. So I don't know if maybe it's that his finances are not doing very well, or him and the numbers that he manages, or that other people manage for him, there's something that it's like lacking. There's a feeling of loss. There's a feeling of like, okay, like I'm not doing very well, and I'm somehow like trying to avoid talking about it, but I feel like I'm out in the cold, and like somehow refusing also to talk. But then when situations come up, as to have a sort of discussion, there's this feeling of like, like sort of like I dropped the bomb. I dropped a very like serious statement, or maybe like even a scandalous statement in the middle of a gathering, and then I just walk away. Here with the Five of Swords in the middle, in reverse, there's this very strong, I wouldn't say it's passive aggressiveness, because I don't see him as being passive aggressive, but I think that his ability to connect or to say a few things, he's very dry when it comes to speaking up what is on his mind. He probably just drops the bomb, or he just says a very harsh truth. And then he it seems like he doesn't connect with others in the sense of like, okay, like a proper conversation, like in a conversation it's like, okay, there's your side of the story, and there's the other side of the story. It's like, okay, it's a give and take in a conversation. There's a connection, there's a sort of flow, like it's your turn to talk, but then when it's the other person time to talk, you listen. I think that in this case, there's this sort of like um, very awkward situation where I don't think that he's communicating very well with people around him. Um, and I also think that somehow there's an avoidance to talk about serious things, because somehow he has a sort of a stability, and probably he's in a period in his life where he just wants to maintain peace somehow, like, and want to sort of like, because here with the Four Wands, the Four of Pentacles, there's this feeling of like, okay, I'm avoiding confrontation, or I'm avoiding like, speaking up saying some facts, or stating some truths, because I don't want to disturb peace, or I don't want to ruin this moment that I'm having fun, or that it seems like everyone is in a good mood. I believe that these next 3 months are going to be actually very fun for I am. Um, but in the middle, there's these unresolved issues. There's these things that happened probably at the beginning of the year, or maybe, the last part of the last year. There's these discussions. There's these things that hasn't been said. There's this very miscommunication. There's these, misunderstandings. There's even there could be papers as well. Like just things not being very fluent when it comes to him communicating with people, that I think that he should be opening more communication, because there's something about money in here. There's something about assets. So I don't know. Um, I just feel like he's a guy that he shuts down people very fast. Like if he feels like something is getting on his nerves, he just, he gets up and leaves the room and just finishes the conversation, or he just stops talking and he's done talking and he will not continue. So there's a sort of refusal to him, sort of continuating conversations that are very important. But somehow there have been things said, because I feel like he cannot help himself. There's something about him. And I don't know, I don't think that it's that, because I don't see him being angry or being an angry person, but I think that there's miscommunication in here. There's something about the way he talks or his body language that it doesn't go well. I think that he sort of needs someone by his side, someone that has like a strong Libra placements, someone that is a bit much more of a diplomatic, that could somehow like translate things for him. Because I think that when it comes to important meetings or important discussions, he doesn't have the patience, and he probably, his mind in the moment, or probably, in the past, it wasn't in the right places. So I think that there's this sense of like, I don't want to have this conversation right now. I don't want to talk about it. But definitely this needs to be handled, because there's something about money here that I don't know if he feels like he was robbed or of opportunities, or he someone owes him money, or or maybe, he didn't get the results that he wanted, so there's a sense of loss, like, oh, I put all my effort in here and I lost. But there's also this feeling of like, yeah, you lost, but you actually weren't that involved either. There's this feeling of like, when you're trying to get away from a situation because you know that it's going to be bad, or it's going to be not that prosperous. So it's like you're somehow like avoiding like the responsibility, or you're like, oh yeah, this is not good, but yeah, whatever. And so it's, it's sort of like it's like, walking away and not facing it, and not like examine it or study the reasons why this was a failure. I think that he's a guy that for him, to recognize that some things didn't work out the way he wanted, he tends to evade those situations, and it's really hard for him to actually like stay in the moment. He evades himself a lot. And also this is translated in the view of others. The others see it as him just getting angry and just walks out and leaves. Um, so I don't know. I think that probably this sort of leaves the impression that he's someone that he's hard to deal with. That he's sort of conflictive, but he's not. But yeah, there's a lot of like, honestly, guys, like there's a feeling of not many people like him. This is what I'm getting. Like I sense that probably in the group, like in Monster X group, the members love him, adore him. I know he's the magnet, but I believe that when he collaborates or when he just, talks business with other people, maybe the others are like, oh, I don't like this guy, or I don't like his attitude. There's something about this, and he knows it. He sort of like is very intuitive in the sense he knows he's not liked. So he's like, I better just leave the room. That's it. Because if I say what I want to say, I will make things worse. And probably, it has to do with him being an idol, somehow him having to keep appearances, and keep the good manners, or trying to be polite, and just not really say what he wants to say. Um, so, um, but yeah, I think that this year has been very confusing for him. But then we have the Four of Wands and the Four of Pentacles. So there's a sense of him actually like enjoying his life, enjoying his like I don't know if he's going to go out more often or he's going to hang out with people that are just going to, invite him to very fun situations where he can relax and have fun and just have a sort of vacation. I don't know if he's going to like he's going to decide more to hang out with friends or with colleagues that are very fun or that are very that are all about fun times, and relaxing and just enjoy the company of others without feeling threatened or without feeling, that it all has to do with money, you know, and probably him enjoying it too much and not wanting to sort of like leave um this this sort of state that he's going to be in of celebration. He's sort of holding on very tight to wanting to celebrate and just like having good times, and that's it. Honestly, I don't see him like working on something new. I just see him like holding on really tight to these very fun times that he's going to have with people that he likes, that he truly likes. There's something about him finally like relaxing and maybe like focusing a bit more on the fun side of life, and just like being surrounded by a very careful kind of not careful, careless sort of times where he's just having fun like people of his age do. There's something about him also, like probably life gets too serious and too dramatic and too like it feels like he's fighting everyone, like everything is a drama, and for him he's like, I want to change scenarios. I don't want to live like this. So I see him really like being able to get out more, have fun. Probably if he, I don't know, he maybe does a collaboration with someone about, appearing in someone's show. But this has to be fun, he appears on someone's show. This has to be entertaining. It has to be, very enjoyable. Maybe a few drinks in the middle, like having a good meal, something very fun and also very fancy and also very like him enjoying life and him enjoying the good things in life and in good company. Definitely, I see him like probably in these years, not years, sorry guys, these months, in these last months of the year, he's like, I'm going to focus more on having fun and not getting caught up in the drama. Um, but yeah, I think that he sort of could like have too much fun. Like I don't want to put that label of too much fun, but I think that there's this feeling of probably him enjoying it too much that he doesn't want to leave. There's this sense of holding on really tight to these nice memories or this nice environment, and him being like, I want to be on holiday, I don't know, the next 2 years or something like this, like him really getting comfortable and being like, oh, okay, no one is going to get me out of here. Like I'm really having fun, so I'm staying. And him actually like treasuring those moments, and holding on really tight. I think that this is something that probably he does, that when he is in a period in his life, he sort of holds on really tight to whatever he's going through, and then for him it's not easy to move to the next stage, So when he's down and when he's not in a good mood, he just remains there, in that feeling. Um, and when he's having fun, it's the same. He just holds on really tight to the feeling. He doesn't want to let go, and he wants to be like that for a very long time. Sort of refusing to move on, refusing to move. So, but I think that yeah, here with all these cards that are fours, the Four of Wands, the Four of Pentacles. There's also this feeling of him is looking for stability in his life. He doesn't know yet what stability is. And he definitely craves it. He wants to experience stability. Stability in his schedules, stability in the people that he surrounds himself with, like sort of like probably he's like, there's a lot of changes in his career. I know that there's a lot of members enlisting. So probably, he will try to reach out to other colleagues or friends or just people he knows, and just trying to hold on to them and whatever they do together so he can feel less alone, sort of like so he can belong with them. So if it's about partying, and going out and just, doing superficial things, he's like, okay, this is what we are doing. Yeah, this is my thing now. This is what I do. And I don't think that he does it because he's like hooked to the feeling of like, oh, okay, yeah, I love to go out every day. No, I think that he's just looking for a sense of normality. He's looking for stability. He's sort of looking for a sort of routine or a sort of connection with people where he doesn't have this fear of people walking away from him or people just leaving. There's this fear of abandonment probably. So he's sort of looking for his tribe, he's looking for his equals, for his people. So he can be himself, So probably if he does find them, and if he gets comfortable with them, he's going to refuse to let go. He's going to get stubbornly stuck in there. Um, but yeah, he's going to finish the year very positively, definitely in a better mood than when he started the year. But yeah, I think that he's going to connect more with the more pleasures in life and not so much, about worrying about numbers and losses and just having awkward conversations with very cold and detached and just very intellectual people that he just feels like he just doesn't want to talk to those people. He must have his reasons. Um, and yeah, then the card that he got, Mercury in Virgo, caution. Then this is something important. He has to be cautious about what he says. This is the reality. He has to be cautious about what he says. I don't know if in the past he had a sort of like a scandal about what he said, or people just misunderstand him. But there's this sort of like, I don't know if people from the industry like sort of have this idea of him being, difficult to deal with. And I think that somehow there's people talking about it, maybe among themselves, in the industry. And this sort of is a loss for him, because when he tries to promote himself or when he tries to get more deals, there's a sense of like, okay, they will not let me in because they they don't like me. I feel like they don't like me. And I think that when we see this card of Mercury in Virgo, I believe that it has to do with the way he communicates. Sometimes maybe he can sound too critical, or he can sound like he is like, harsh with words, or that he's a bit sarcastic, or maybe that he sounds, he sounds very harsh, very cold, very, so I think that the best thing he can do now is be cautious about what he says, like not talk too much. Just go enjoy life, enjoy his moments, his youth, and have fun, and not talk too much. Because I don't think, I know that a lot of people are talking that there's a lot of concentration of planets, and I believe that is Mercury retrograde again. I don't know, guys. I usually, like, I am a fan of astrology, but I don't follow the transits, astrological transits, that much, because they they would add more paranoia to my everyday life, so I don't want it. But definitely here with this Virgo Mercury card, the keyword of caution, I think that definitely this is the feeling, that he should, just go out and enjoy life, and not, not have important conversations at the moment, or discussions, or sign papers. This is not the moment. Okay, guys, this is all I have for I am. I hope that you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.